Hi folks, Motorbind here. Just going to do a quick video here, just to kind of show, I've seen some people ask some questions, and it's about these hill descent light being on, and I'll show you what light I'm talking about. It'd be this guy here, the little orange one there, so I'm going to pop up again. So, that one there, the orange one right there, popped up right there. It being on when you're driving, it'll be off now, and then when you drive along, it'll suddenly pop up. So let's get started here. Motor Mind. Alright, so the video, well, obviously I'm showing just that light there, not the three amigos. The three amigos is when you have your ABS light on, you'll have that orange light on, so you can kind of get the pop up again there, that guy there, and you also have your traction control light on. That's called three amigos. A very common fault for that is to check your brake light switch. And a good way to check your brake light switch is to check and see when you depress the brake pedal if your brake lights come on. If your brake lights don't come on, then check that switch. That is a common fault. It's not always a fault, but it's a good place to start just to kind of confirm because it's a fault. But what I'm talking about here is not the brake light switch. This has something else to do, and I'll show you what I mean. So right now, as you can see down there, my light isn't on. So and this is what this fault is. I did have this fault with this vehicle and I fixed it ages ago, but I just thought I'd do a quick video to show you how to fix it. It's a very, I'm not saying this would be the exact reason, but it's a very common thing. It's something to check. So I'll just show you. I'm just going to drive this around this parking lot here, and I soon get the light to pop up there. Alright, so after driving around, I went around the parking lot for a bit, and then I actually went on the road, got about 20-30 mile an hour, and then that light popped up. So it's not the brake light, that's just because the handbrake's on. So it's this light here, this the other one. Now I'll show you what the code is for that. That usually pops up, when that comes up, and I'll show you how to repair for it. Alright, so just to let you know, if I shut the vehicle off and turn it back on, that light would go out until I went to drive it again, and once you got driving, then that orange light would come back on. So I've left it running. Just going to show you what it is. Now I'm going to run the scan here. I'm just going to run a global scan, kind of show you the codes will pop up. So as you see now, it's showing up in the engine control unit. There's one fault there in MIMS. It's in I don't think this code would show up on a regular EOBD, but we'll see here, or OBD2, depending on where you are. Let's see here, if it shows up in the second line here, then you know it would show up on just a regular scan tool. I see there, it's EOBD. So that code would not show up on a regular scan tool, unless I'm taking a different code here. But this also should show up in, I was trying to think here if this will show up in the anti-lock brake or not, but we'll see here. It definitely will show up in the engine control. So right, ignore that one there because it's not the right one. This next one's down. This is 2005, so it won't work. That one, it'll have to be the next one down. So, see, it does show up in the ABS as well. I tell you right now, this fault has nothing to do with the ABS. It'll show up in the ABS module because it's the way it's flagging up through the ECU, but it won't. It's actually nothing to do with ABS or braking whatsoever. The rest of them, it probably will just come up, seeing that there's nothing else wrong with it. Alright, so nothing's come up. So I just like to clarify, this is for the 1.8 petrol. This is not something on diesel. It's not the TD4, it's not 2 liter, it's not the V6 that I know of. This is just something I've seen with this particular vehicle here. I can't say for the other vehicles if it's the same. I don't think they use the diesels, because the diesels use a different throttle body and all that. So if I go to results here, alright, so radiator fan drive, ignore that one there. Okay, so it's not the one in the ABS, it's what it'll show, not in the engine. I've fixed that there. Finding that the radiator fan drive was actually down to, it's an old code, it's actually down to the my air conditioning had been unhooked, and so it wasn't firing up, and it runs all through the same circuit, so that's why that was coming up. The radiator fan does work perfectly fine, so or it's a ghost code, as I said before. This is what comes up here. If you see in the ABS, it comes up CAN signal stuck throttle. Okay, so the code is a C1152. Now what that is, and I'll show you here. I'll shut this down here. You pop the bonnet. This is actually a relatively easy fix. No tools needed whatsoever. What that has to do with is that it has a sensor on your throttle, throttle pedal. It has a sensor that runs here for your throttle position. Now what it wants to see is, it wants to see your throttle pedal move just about 10 millimeters, and then see that move. And it has to do with traction control. The traction control needs to know you're off the throttle. If it sees that you push the throttle a bit before even actuating the throttle cable, because this is a cable system, it's not drive-by-wire, then the traction control will kick off. Not traction control, the hill descent, pardon me. The hill descent needs to see this. That's why your hill descent light's coming on, fault light. And it's going to put a CAN error, because it's getting the signal at the same time as you're pushing the throttle on the pedal, that the throttle plate is moving at the same time. So what you need to do is you need to have some movement in here. This thing has to have a little bit of play, about 10 mil by centimeter. What you do is you take this, and if you see here where I've had it before, is what it seems about right. So you want to take this guy here, hold this one here, and you want to just take and spin this guy here back. Right, so this is supposed to lock in. So you want to loosen it off a bit. And what you do is you grab back here, and you see this a little bit of movement. See if you can see my hand here. And you see just there. So you want to feel just a little bit of slack on that line. So it's a little bit, tiny bit more. You don't want to go too much, or else then your throttle pedal has just too much delay. So try that. So you do is you loosen it off, so you feel a little bit of slack. I said about that. I'm gonna go a little tiny bit more. I had it before. So one more turn there. Okay. And you actually don't need a scan tool for this. I want to show you the codes in case somebody does have a diagnostic scan tool like I do that does all the systems. If not, then if you see a light come up, check that. If that's tight, loosen it off till you have about 10 mil or so play in it. Shut your engine off, turn it back on, and then drive the vehicle again. Because if you shut it off, it'll reset the code, because it'll reset it, and when it sees that it's still seeing the fault, it'll flag it back up again. If it doesn't, that light will stay off. So try that, and if you're fine, if it doesn't come up, then you've solved it. If there is still coming up, and you know you got about 10 mil, there's the slack in that, then you may have a fault with your hill descent somewhere else. Another fault with that is there can be a sensor down the side here that can sometimes have an issue, and it has to do with first gear, because hill descent wants to see it in first gear when going down the hill. And to do that, it's quite easy. Grab this here, pop it up. Sometimes it can be a fault with the switch, or there is actually, get it down in there. there is actually a little switch that wants to see on the little one. It's underneath this boot here. That little one, and that can sometimes have a fault. But I would, before anything else, I would check exactly what I showed you there. Check that. That was on this vehicle. Guy thought he had a big fault with his hill descent. He didn't. It was simply just that light. So I'll show you here. Fire it up. As you can see, lights all up now. I didn't even erase the code. The code's still actually present in my scan tool. I'm not going to do erase. What I'm going to do is I'll drive it again. And in fact, when you do that, I'll do this instead. I'm going to take it for all the. Close that. And we'll just do a. We're just going to do just quickly here. See if we can system detection prior changes. Right. Never mind. I'll run the scan again and see if the code has erased itself. So let's just give us a minute. Alright, so now what I've done, as you can see here, I've stopped the scan. Yeah. Here it's now gone yellow, which means if I look at results. So I think yellow means that it's no longer valid. It's just logged it, but it actually hasn't erased it fully yet. So I'll close that. But it's not sure. So it's a pending code. Yellow. So this is a pending code. Because it's seeing there was a fault last time this vehicle drove. So now it's going to keep it there and it'll flag it again. But after I drive it, it should just clear itself. Let's just see. I'll take it for a little cruise here now. Alright, so I drove the same route I just did last time. See, I'm in a different parking lot. I noticed the first time, last time was in a different parking lot. Is that now the light has stayed off. So just going to show you here. Let's run the scan one more time here. Let's illustrate. Hopefully this guy will stay up on there. Last time, there we are. Yeah. Let's start again. So I left it up on there. I haven't erased any codes. I haven't done anything else. I literally just drove it from where it was to where I am now. So hopefully with the reflection stuff you can see there. So I need to erase that. I don't know if that code will stay away, but there's nothing on the red fans. So like I said, it's most likely it's one of those ghost codes that Land Rover likes to flag up once in a while, but means absolutely nothing. So I'm just going to pause this so that the video isn't too long. Alright, so what I've done, because I haven't shut it down, I've only done one drive cycle, is I actually flagged it as an intermittent code. See if I can get the camera to focus in on that. Come on, you. I do apologize, this camera seems to be acting up a bit, but just flag this intermittent. Now if I shut it off and then rescan it again, it may need to see about 3 drive cycles, 3 or 4 drive cycles, usually about 3, and then it would erase a code because it noticed, okay, I've done 3 drive cycles and the code hasn't returned. It doesn't need to log it anymore, but it's logged it because it thinks it's come and gone, but we've actually have fixed it, and I have done this myself on this vehicle, and once I've done the adjustment, that light has never come on. The only reason it's come on now is because I actually adjusted it back to show you how to repair this, or at least a possible way of repairing it. I'm not saying this is exact fault of your vehicle, but it's a good place to start. It's a quick, easy, simple check, and it's cheap, and it requires no tools, just a little bit of fiddling with your fingers. So I think I've just gone off. So let's see if I can read it just in that module. Save us a little bit of time here. Alright, so still brought it up. I may need to see the drive cycle, but yes, I said I had to. So that is a way of getting it off. As you can see, the light is still off. I'm gonna drive this around all day. That light won't come back on. The vehicle drives perfectly fine. Even with the light on, the vehicle still drives fine. It's just that you'll notice that there should be. I don't know if you can see with that foot down there, but there should be a little bit of play in the pedal. That's how you know. If you touch that pedal and your throttle goes up right away, then most likely you'll know that could be a fault. So let's see if I can show you here a little better. It's just a tiny bit of play there. That's what you should have. All right, so I hope that helps you. I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of a pointer if you seem to be having the yellow held descent light coming on. I know the faults the vehicle, then definitely have a look at that and see if that may be your fault. Nice and quick and easy. Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, and click the bell for notifications to let you know when I upload more videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.